All right. Let's check. Yep, mics are working. All right. Hi. So I got so much done last night, or yesterday in general, that I just have these white bags everywhere. I no longer have a desk over here. I no longer have tables over there. Um, we are just full. Um, of tons and tons of bowls. So I did not fully count everything that I did yesterday. Um, so as I go through, I'm pulling up my list here. I do know that I fully trimmed 3 pieces yesterday, 1 6 pound, 2 4 pound pieces. Um, those are upstairs in the garage with a light plastic over top of it, just hanging out, drying. They're no longer down here. So what I'm going to do is I have a shelf on a tiny bookshelf over there that I can only fit 3 bowls on, but as I finish things, I'm going to put them onto that bookshelf to kind of designate that area is done. So as my husband Gary comes downstairs, he can, if he has free hands, he can take bowls up to the garage for me to make more free space down here. I'm not really planning on throwing until after dinner this evening. I would like to get through as much trimming as possible. Hopefully, I can kind of gauge where I'm at with everything and um, set things up to dry throughout the day if they're too wet, and just keep trimming. So we'll see where we're at. Um, okay. I'm gonna put my mouse there for the moment, I guess. All right, let's see what we got. So these are the medium size garbage bags. A lot of people say to use the bags when you go and get your clothes cleaned, dry cleaner bags. They would work really well too. All right, this is super wet. So, all right, I need a place for super wet things. Um, I'm not quite sure where that's going to be as of this moment. But I'm going to put so I'm going to roll up this trash bag a little bit so that it's not as deep. And then I'm going to give this guy just a hat, because what I want to happen is I want to preserve the top of this. I want to keep this part wet because I need to be able to cut the swirl into it. And I need the bottom of this to dry a little bit more so that I can cut it off the bat and trim the bottom. So we're going to give that one a hat, and we're going to put it right back where I got it from yesterday. I did leave a little bit of room over here for my coffee cup. Okay, this one. This one seems good. Let's start with this one. This is a 4-pounder. So underneath this layer of brown clay, there's a swirl in here somewhere, a marble something from when I combined the clear white with the brown. So we're going to try to bring some of that out. Right, I'm going to try to move some of my stuff here so I have access to my tools. Come on. Okay. Okay. All right. So that clear white is what's in the bottom there. So now I'm going to trim the bottom of this before I set it upright again. To do the swirl. So this is the bat that I use the most. So I set up my grip to go over top of that. So I don't want this to be wet enough that this is going to dent. And I don't want to trim hard enough that I dent these sides with the grip. Everyone has their own way of reclaiming. I'm not telling anyone that their way is wrong, and I am 100% not a tutorial channel. That is not what I do here. I have fun with clay. That is what I do. I do not yuck anyone's yums as to how they do things. If you want to yuck mine, have at it. I may listen to you. I tried a bunch of different ways to do a bunch of different things, and I found my way. I found the way that works for me. So, what I do with reclaimed clay is I take all of my reclaimed clay. I have a couple different buckets. I have one for Claire White, one for Buff, one for Umbria, and then I have a mixed random bucket. That I use for things like this. And I mix everything hard, wet, whatever into the bucket. And then after a while, I really get in there with my hands and I kind of break up anything that's not the mushy consistency that everything else becomes. And it eventually becomes slop that I lay out on a board. And I lay it out on a board. I mush it all together there. And then well, I have a reclaim video of what I do, but I mush it all up, and then I mush it all up again, and then I squeeze out all the air bubbles, and then I leave them in little arches. Until it's dry enough for me to wedge. And then unfortunately, it's typically still, even after I wedge it, it's still typically a little bit too wet to use. So I'll typically leave it out, not like out, but like in plastic for a while. Or under plastic, I guess I should say. Until it's to a proper thing that I can use. Sometimes I leave it in the arches a little bit too long. But yeah, some people let it get like until it's hard, and then it becomes super brittle, and they chop it all up, and then they put it in water and let it melt down because it melts down at a more at a better consistency. Cool. Not the way I do it, but again, if that's what works for them, then that's absolutely how they should do it. Um, some people would take that immediately, wedge it right back up again, and make a nice little ball to throw with later. I love that idea. Like that, to be on top of your stuff so much that you can just like wedge it right back in again. That's phenomenal. Um, bump right there. Okay. I need a new one of these tools. It's not sharp at all anymore. And If I lose this piece, it's going to be right now while I'm trimming it. So I'm not doing a very good job. All right, we're gonna take this down because this has super wide walls here. And I'm trimming these a little bit wetter than what I want to. But I want to be able to get that curly Q out nice and easy. So I want to get the bottoms of these trimmed. All right. I'm not gonna lie, these marblings are giving me weird optical illusions. And the other thing that these, because I combined these two colors, one dries, they both dry at different paces. I think I'm going to take this over a sanding board at the very, very end when it's dry. All right, I think that's what I'm going to do with this. Make it nice and flat on the bottom instead of giving it a foot. All right. Okay. So again, we're taking off this outer layer. This isn't hanging out in this thing very nicely. That's okay. I'm not concerned about this being wibbly wobbly. I just want to get this outer layer of slip off the top. So that we can see the clear white underneath. Okay. All right. Now let's see. I think I want to cut the curly Q right through those. So I start with the initial dig out. And then I try to do one side fully so that I get the idea of where I'm going. And then I'll cut out little sections on the other side. But this has to still be soft to make this a little bit easier to do. And I'm trying to cut. When I put the pressure on the piece, I want it on the downstroke because I have my thumb on the inside supporting the little curly Q piece. that means I also have to be careful to not cut my thumb on the inside. Okay. And then I just try to pick all that stuff out, round out those edges a little bit. And I'm going to come in here with once it dries, with a damp sponge to clean all this up so that like yarn doesn't catch on it and stuff like that. But there we go. All right. We're just going to take this, give it a little wet. All right, and this bowl for the moment is done. It obviously needs some cleaning up, but we can't do any of that right now. So we're going to go set this over here. I had a piece that was over there just because I was at a flat room. So we're going to bring that back so Gary doesn't accidentally see it and think it's going upstairs. All right. So I put that over there the other day because it was way wetter than I wanted to work with. All right, let's get it off the bat first. Let's see if we can. All right. Don't know if I have a headache from anti-caffeine. Okay. This seems a little too wet. I cannot trim the bottom yet. So we're going to flip this guy upside down on here. Okay. Oh, there's my mouse. I was just looking for that. And we're going to sit you next to me over here. Just let the bottom of him firm up a little bit. All right, so I got one 4-pound bowl trimmed. All right, let's turn this into black. One. As I get through more and more of the clay, I'll have more and more room because I just have it heaped up on my table. All right, I threw this the first day. Let's see how it's doing. All right. I'm gonna have to chip through that when I do the curly Q, which oh, we have an ash. I hear him coming. Okay, so this will be my second 6-pound bowl that I go to trim. Okay, the exterior on this was kind of hard, but actually it's pretty nice on the inside, so that'll work. So this is just taking off all of that dark brown slip on the outside to reveal any white underneath. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's get the outside of this done and see if I need a bigger. That's kind of cool. We have some. A little bit of white up here. Okay. So that's cool. That gave us a really cool interior swirl. I may paint the outside of this one and then leave the inside of this one with like a clear glaze. I don't know. I really like. That's just cool. Okay. So I think I want to keep this area here. So I think I'm going to do a cut in over here. All right, we're going to try this on the board and see how it goes. So it's a little bit harder than I would like it to be. So we're going to do this a little bit slower. That's the problem, right? So when it's too good trimming consistency, it's not so great for the cutouts. So I just want to support this as I cut. I'm just realizing that I'm not looking at chat here, so let's see if... Oh. Hey, Brian, welcome aboard. Okay, guys, I gotta pick it up. I'm sorry. doesn't want to come out. Okay. Oh. Doesn't help that my hand just went to sleep. Okay. All right. Also, for the X-Acto knife people, I understand that this is not how screwy bits work, but if you could make a left-handed X-Acto knife, or, you know, a clampy X-Acto knife instead of a screwy X-Acto knife, that'd be wonderful. Because my entire family is left-handed, and we have to keep screwing the things back in, the blades back in, because as you work, they slowly undo themselves because we're using our left hand. While they would normally be tightening themselves if we were right-handed. Ah. You know, I just met 2 people yesterday that work for a dentist's office. I should see if I could get some old tools. Okay. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this swirled. That makes me happy. I'm not going to be doing much marbling, because oh, hiccups, man. I do really want to focus on glazing. And I feel like, you know, once you glaze over the marbling, you just lose the marbling anyway. So I'm not going to be doing much marbling. But, that does make me happy. Okay. I can hear Gary working super duper hard upstairs. I have no idea what he's doing. But, I hear him. Okay, there's the other piece that I couldn't get out before. Come on. Okay. So I'm expecting these big yarn bowls to get used for like the bigger clay, like the baby's blankets, bigger clay. The bigger yarns, like the baby blankets and stuff like that. So I actually want this opening to be a little bit wider than my normal openings. So that the baby's blanket yarn and whatnot easily flows through here. Okay. All right. I'm going to come back in with a sponge when this is completely dry before it goes in the kiln. To kind of clean that up a little bit and clean up the inside. But I think I'm happy with that. For right now. Okay. Little curlicue. Marbling. This piece. Okay. All right. Second piece on the wall of done over here. Cool. All right. Now, I know that everything here with these big, except for one, I'm not quite sure which one, but all of the ones with the big bats I threw 2 days ago. So I'm going to start with those. As I'm grabbing stuff to trim today. Because I do need to use, every day I should be throwing 6 6-pound pots, because I only have 6 of these big bats. And I'm going to give in and I'm going to go take some Tylenol, because man, this headache is not making anything easy at this moment. Okay, Tylenol down. Okay. I'm excited to see what this looks like underneath. Okay. Yep, that seems pretty good. Oh, that was a 6-pounder, right? Okay, let me mark off. I really am trying to keep a good track today, guys. Because I really lost what I was. Come on. Usually my leg works just fine as a mouse pad. Today, go. Okay. All right. Just logged into Discord and I'm gonna text my husband and see if he wants to hang out with me while he's working. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So while the other pots were more brown, this one is showing off more white. I did not do this in equal proportions. I will definitely have some pots that are more white, some pots that are more brown. But I think kind of funny, as I'm trimming, I go from like the cream cheesy player white to the rough, sturdier Umbria. And okay. Now on the other one, I didn't put the spokes in, but all right. So I know some of you guys are going to come for me because this looks like a pink pot. It is not. The dark brown clay that I'm using here is actually going to turn like dark brown, almost black. And this should fire white. So this pot was never going to be pink. I actually do not have a kiln that goes hot enough to do. Actually, I just learned that all porcelain is not high fire porcelain. Did not know that. I thought all porcelain fired to cone 10. But there is porcelain out there that fires to a cone 6 and a cone 5. So, if I decide to try porcelain and whatnot, that will probably be the porcelain that I do. But and then I could dye it different colors and whatnot. But again, I'm more into the glazing than I am into like necessarily clay color. Like originally I was like, no, I want like this really black clay to play with, and like I want to pair glazing with it. But I'm not really sure. I may just like that's why I got the Umbria. Because I wanted to pair it with different glazes. But yet taking that brown slip off to find out what's underneath, so cool. Um, okay. All right, through this white area right here is where I think I'm going to put my curly Q. Now, this is super soft, so this should not be an issue to cut through. No, not at all. Okay. Again, I want to keep this pretty thick because I want people to be able to use like the baby yarn and stuff like that through this hole without an issue. Stop that. Okay. Okay. Cool, cool. Oh, now I'm just going to clean this up just a tad. I kind of want to like stuff something up into here. Oh, because it's so heavy. Oh no, actually that looks okay. All right. All right, another 6 pounder on to the done for now rack. Okay, cool, cool. All right, let's lift up this plastic and see what we got over here. All right, let's grab you. I left the one that I just put over there not under plastic because it's a little wet and I want to give that a minute to dry before Hi. I hear you working hard upstairs. No? Oh, you're working very hard upstairs, not just working hard. What? Yeah. Okay. Working very hard upstairs, not just hard. What's up? Flat space. Um, Gary, if you do happen to make a trip to Home Depot, one more of these and like 4 more brackets would be amazing. Only if you go to if you happen to go to Home Depot. Cool. Okay. Can you do the ones under the plastic? The one not under the plastic, it needs a little bit of time to dry a little bit more before it's handled. Thanks. He's awesome. He's keeping me in flat space. I heard a blub bloop earlier that I ignored. Let's see what that was about. All right. Oh, water. Thank you. He gives me flat space. He makes sure I'm hydrated. He's amazing. All right. Eh, Pop. And you can see that this is going to be mostly white on the bottom, like the other one was. That's cool. Okay. Eh, Flip it over. This one is also wet. So this will be good for cutting. All right. The music ended, and I'm not really quite sure I want to put it back on because my headache is starting to abate now. So I might just leave it off for a little while. I lost. There it is. What's this? Okay. I think I'm gonna put maybe some of these into shorts where like I just get a really good like scrape down the side to reveal the won't be this one. This one is mushy. I've already taken it off the bat. Do I want to? Hmm. I wonder if I threw this one yesterday. Hello, Mr. Ash. Do not eat my clay. Do you want to show off to the crowd? Come here. Come on up. What are you doing? You hiding under my chair? Hello. Don't eat the clay. Hey, hey, don't eat the clay. I'm holding his head up so that he doesn't eat the clay on the ground. Hello. He is such a good, gentle doggo. Um, but he cannot be trusted around food, which in his brain is also clay. Ooh, Gary brought down more boxes. We get the large flat boxes from grocery stores and we carry things up and down the stairs in them. They are very helpful. Okay. 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 All right. Let's see what's under here. You know what? Let's. Don't want to heat up the rim because I want that to stay mushy. But okay. Okay. All right. Now, where do I want? Oops. All right. I don't think I want to interrupt that white line here as it goes up. So I think I'm going to do it over here. Okay, that was kind of cool. I don't know if you can see in there, but that's a cool little marble through in the center of the clay. Okay. Hello, Mr. Ash. We need a dog cam. We need to put um a camera on your collar. So this is a 6 pound ball of clay, but this is a smaller bowl. And I did this on purpose so that it would be a heavier bowl um, for people who wanted something that wasn't going to move when their cats decided to play with it. Um, I typically do my 6 pound bowls bigger so that you can fit bigger skeins of yarn in them. But this one is a smaller version of it and it's just heavier. I was actually thinking about throwing some 3 pound ones that were like ultra light for like, because I only crochet with cotton, which is a much smaller skein, and I only do small skeins because none of my pieces are that big. So I was actually thinking, and maybe at the end of this, depending on how I'm doing on time and whatnot, I may actually weigh out a bunch of my reclaim and do a bunch of bowls that are 3 pound for the smaller bowls. Anyway, just a thought. Um, yeah, if you are following along with this challenge, let me know what you think. Do you want a big bowl? Do you want a big bowl but like slightly smaller that's just really heavy? Um, what's your kind of preference? Also, does which way the squiggle matter for you? I feel like it does. I don't know if it does, but I feel like it does. So I'm going to do some with the squiggle going in the opposite direction too. I get that it's just, but this I have to use left-handed, and it keeps opening itself up on me because I'm using it with the wrong hand. Um, so I've never had that issue with yarn bowls, but maybe somebody has somewhere. And they're like, I just wish the squiggle would go in the opposite direction. Tell me. Tell me. I don't like that. All right, we're just going to take that out. As I throw an X-Acto knife at myself. Okay. And that is why you can't cut it out before you start trimming. Trimming has to be done first. Okay. But I got that little bump out of there, so that makes me happy. All right. We're going to go put this on the done shelf. I would like this to dry for a little bit before Gary takes it up, so I'm not going to put plastic over it. Come on. It has suctioned itself. Okay. Gary is absolutely phenomenal. He's taking his entire day today and figuring out how to give us more flat space, because we have ornaments coming and they're going to need room. And I'm doing this challenge, so I'm going to need room. He's trying to fill orders, so he needs room. Um, okay. Trying to figure out which one's the drier pieces. All right, we're gonna go with this one next. Okay. Oh. But first, coffee. Let's see. I got another Discord message. I guess because it pulled up here, didn't also go to my phone. Okay. Oh, cool. So, this was the one, I'm going to spin this slowly, that was wobbly. So the first thing we're going to do is, well, I don't know. Man, I like it. I think I'm going to take it down here because this is the higher section over here. So I think I'm going to take this spiral down over here. So it just like, oh, I like that. All right, that's what I'm going to do. Done. I'm not going to cut off the rim. It's going to make trimming the bottom difficult. I don't have any chucks made, and I don't have any clay. Well, I have plenty of clay. Hmm. All right. Okay. Oh, we can already see that it's brown and white on the bottom. That's awesome. Love it. All right. So we're not going to trim the bottom of this one. I'm going to let it wibbly wobbly on here. And I'm just going to take the slip off of it. And I will do a trimming after it's bisked of just flattening it off on the bottom with my grit sander, with my grit bat. Sanding bat? That's probably the correct term. I don't know. So that's what we're going to do. So for the moment, we're just going to clean this up, and I'm just going to move with the pot. Which is apparently harder than I think it is. It's okay. 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 All right. Wibbly wobbly. Oh, it's not timey-wimey though. Okay. Okay. room's going to be hard. I'm literally just going to like rest this on here and let it just move the tool. Okay. All right. Now into the center. Okay. I'm happy with this one. I really like this one. Dig my nail into it. Come on, Ellie. Okay. So that is definitely the high point there. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that is definitely the high point there. Okay. So I want this to come down over here. So we're going to cut out the initial. Hey, stop eating clay.
Come again?
You should stop eating clay too. My dog came downstairs to visit me, quote unquote, and
Right.
he is eating the clay that's on the ground from my trimmings. So, how are you doing today?
Okie dokie. curious to see how today goes.
What's going on today?
Well, if I'm lucky, I'll have time to eat. And then at the same token, I've got Dad coming over in about 4 hours, give or take, depending on his schedule and traffic and weather. Um, Fascinating. Did not know that. Uh, Brain, get thoughts on track. I got distracted. Um, yeah, I got distracted by a meme that talks about a snow leopard, and it says apparently it can emit a low frequency purr that destabilizes the snow, clearing paths for itself.
Hmm,
Basically using sonic resonance.
interesting. I wonder how true
Apparently,
that is.
it would not surprise me, given how sound can be used in that way, whether for good or ill.
Eh,
Same trick with a singer's voice breaking glass.
I got the concept. I just, I don't trust much on the internet, so.
That's fair. Lily, I swear. It's like she's using the one arm to anchor herself to the bed or something, because she's got the one arm stuck through the bars, but she does it on purpose because
Uh-huh,
her arms are currently too small to actually get stuck. So there's no
uh-huh.
real danger there.
Yep, yep, yep.
I just I just find it strange.
She's learning.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen when she figures out she can actually use those bars as leverage somewhat.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Has she figured out where the cameras are yet?
Um, I don't know. She can recognize when I'm using my phone as a camera.
Okay. Yeah, just wait until she knows where the cameras are, and then you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you look at a camera and she's standing in the crib when she's never been standing before and just staring directly into the camera.
Oh my god, that would be adorable.
Adorable's a word. Creepy is another word.
Eh, I got used to something similar, but then again, I used to pull the same stunt. So, I would be the guy that when you walk into like a bank or something, I would smile at the camera and wave just to piss off the guy watching them.
You don't piss them off.
I mean, I used to be the guy watching them, so
Uh,
I get it.
Okay. Another 6 pound bowl trimmed.
Meanwhile, I'm waiting to hear back from that tamale company I told you about.
Hmm. Cool.
Apparently, part of my order was on backstock or
Uh,
backlog or whatever the term.
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, well, you have other options available. Just sub one out. I don't necessarily care. I'm not picky enough to say I don't want this one.
Mm-hmm.
At at this point, it's more along the lines of I paid for them already, and I've already budgeted my food supply.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Whoop, and there she goes. Hey.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I marked the other one down or not.
What I haven't figured out yet, Jean seems to have an idea, but I haven't discovered it yet, is to. She has lately figured out her legs, and so she is like pulling her legs up against her body, and just like her butt is aiming right towards the ceiling. And so it's like, okay, I mean, are you just doing that to stretch your legs, or is there a function I'm not aware of?
She's probably trying to figure out how they work because
Possibly.
she doesn't understand that they're for, standing on yet.
Right. Now, what's amusing is it's almost like she's trying to crawl, but at the same time, the movements with her arms imply more swimming.
Okay.
Because, because she will push back with both of her arms in like a semicircle motion.
Hmm.
I mean, on the one hand, I get it. She's actually spent the current majority of her existence in fluid.
She has.
So,
Yep. And she's never had to like feed herself or put on clothing or anything. So like arms aren't a thing that do anything yet other than pull her around.
right? And even then, not completely accurate
Eh,
at this stage.
learning.
Yeah. Because I guarantee you, if she knew where the camera was, she'd be looking up at it right now, being like, hey, you're talking about me, aren't you?
What time do you want me to break for lunch? Soon? Do you want me to do it? I just finished a bowl. Do you want me to do lunch now, or do you want me to do one more bowl and then do lunch? Now it's fine. All right. Well, that was a short talk. Um,
Fair.
but
I
I'm gonna go
haven't
have
even
lunch.
gotten breakfast yet, much less lunch.
Well, go have lunch. Go have breakfast. Brunch. Go have brunch.
Right? Assuming I can find time to eat. I tend to try and eat when she's sleeping. I was lucky enough to get a shower this morning.
She's contained.
True, but I think at this point my fear is her being on her stomach for too long because I've been advised that if a baby is on their stomach for too long, they can somehow suffocate.
Okay, so take her with you.
And put her where?
Do
I
you
don't
have
dare
a
put her in the stroller.
Do you have a pack and play?
Um, if that's the thing I think you're talking about,
The
the like the
portable
little.
the portable thing.
Oh, right. Um, the one we had is currently. I'm trying to remember what happened to it. It may be in the nursery. I don't know. I know we have one. I know we have one at Dad's.
Okay. Well, just permanently set it up and drag it around the house with you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what most parents do that I know of.
Well, if I didn't have my chest issues, I'd just carry her everywhere.
Right, but you do. So,
Right.
just drag a pack and play and put her in it.
Yeah. The problem is trying to get people to take me seriously when I say that because it's like it's not something that I personally have ever heard of, but I understand it,
Pain is pain. If you can't do something due to pain, you either do it differently to make it better or you find alternative solutions.
right?
Mhm.
Like I've noticed when I'm in my office, the easiest thing for me to do with her is to have her on my leg.
Yeah.
At least for now. Once
Mm.
she gets heavier, I wager that won't be an option either, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yep, not a problem for the moment.
Wow, that's awkward. I just coughed loud enough to get picked up by the baby monitor across the house.
Okay,
All right. Well, you go grab lunch. I will catch you when you get back if I'm
cool.
not back myself.
All right, have fun.
Take care.
Bye. All right, so I don't know how many I trimmed this morning, which is an issue. I really need to like figure out a better way of tracking, but I did get a bunch trimmed, so that's good. Gonna finish the ones that I've opened up when I get back, and then I may go on to trimming more. Sorry. Once I'm done trimming the 6 pounds, I may throw a couple of 6 pounds before I go into trimming the 4 pounds. I'm not really sure. We'll see. I kind of expected to spend my entire morning, afternoon trimming, and then tonight after dinner I was gonna throw. But I may break it up a little bit more. We'll see how I feel in the afternoon. We'll see how dry everything is once I start getting stuff out from underneath plastic more. But for the moment, I'm going to lunch. So I will